Well, hello there and welcome to episode 41 of my self-employment vlog. I hope you're all doing well this week. So what has been happening this week? Well, I've started work on my new Mike Oldfield book, which is scheduled for later next year. And it's about the album Amarok. Now, Amarok is an album that's very dear to my heart. About 10 years ago, I transcribed the entire album into full score, and it was the biggest project I'd ever done. And you may have noticed that recently there were some Amarok diaries that I uploaded. These were video diaries that I discovered. They were done at the time about 10 years ago, and I was watching them back, and it sort of inspired me really to write a retrospective account of the process of transcribing the album. You know, what I did, why I did it, how I did it, and also what happened afterwards. You know, where did it lead in terms of me, in terms of my career, because it kind of opened up some doorways, which has allowed me then to become a bit more of an active member of the Mike Oldfield community, and it's allowed me to work with you know, exciting artists as well. So it all kind of stems from that first initial project. Now, the book is still in the early stages, but I can give you a few details about the sort of the layout of the book. Essentially, it's going to be split into two parts. The first part will be an account of the transcription, why I did it, as I said before, but also looking at the album, placing it in context, looking at it, you know, now and thinking, well, what is it about this album that's so special? You know, how did it compare to other albums in Mike's discography? How does it compare to the music of the time and the culture of the time? Looking at some of the other things that occur on the album, such as the accompanying story that was part of the booklet that came with the album. Looking at the famous or infamous Margaret Thatcher impersonation speech, and analysing just the meaning behind the words and how it's relatable even today. And it's really just sort of looking at the album very, very deeply and very closely. Now, within that section, there will also be a chapter about Gus Fogle's live performance of Amarok. Now, to my knowledge, there's only been one complete live performance of Amarok ever given. Now, there's lots of people on YouTube who have done covers of sections of Amarok, and some people have even done the entire Amarok, but they've kind of, it's been spread across, you know, multiple parts. So, to my knowledge, it hasn't been performed in its entirety. And 10 years ago, Gus arranged my full score that I'd made for just him on piano and bass guitar. Now, it was a phenomenal achievement. Not really very well known to many people, although it's clocked up a lot of views on YouTube. I still feel that actually there's probably a lot of people in the Mike Oldfield community who are not aware of it. But it really was a phenomenal achievement done by a very young man at the time who you know, wanted to take on this massive task. And I felt it was right really in this book to look at that whole process. So Gus has kindly offered me some of his memories and experiences from the whole process, because, as I said, he performed the entire thing live. I'll put a link in the description so you can go and check it out, because it's you know, it's phenomenal really. It's a real roller coaster, and yeah, definitely check it out. I'm also in the process of getting recollections from other fans as well, to share their memories of the album and just what the album means to them. Alongside that, I'm also in contact with other artists who perhaps have been influenced by Mike, and they're going to share their thoughts on the album. And also, hopefully, this is still tentative, but hopefully I'm going to have some contributions from people who've worked directly with Mike, those on the album, and those who have been closely linked to it. So I'm hoping that if I can kind of get that information there as well, it should offer some really fantastic glimpses into the whole process. So that makes up the first chapter, if you like, or not chapter, the first part of the book. And then the second part will be a detailed musical analysis, where I will analyze the music, the key themes, you know, the structure of the album, how it's put together, and just try to kind of unpack it a little bit, so that you can listen to the album and maybe pick out things that maybe you'd missed or that you didn't realize were related. but I want to carefully make sure that the analysis is not completely sterile and elitist, you know, just for musicians. I'm going to make sure that it's going to be interesting to read for musicians, but also for non-musicians. I'll make sure that there are you know, the glossary of musical terms, so that people who are less familiar with musical terminology can refer to it. I'm also going to include some very short musical examples as a separate download. So when you buy the book, you will then get a separate link to download some audio examples of just some of the key themes that I'm going to play on the piano. So it's an ambitious book. It's ambitious and it's self-published, so this is not being taken on by any publishing company. I'm doing everything myself, the manufacturing and the whole process. As I said, it has been given the green light, so I feel confident that I can proceed now confidently with things. So I'm just compiling as much as I can about the book, and yeah, it's going to be a big job and ambitious, but I do feel that it has a potential to be a really, really exciting book. So yeah, so stay tuned for more information on that. Beyond that, that's about all I've managed to do really this week. It's been more of a week of thinking about the direction that I want to go in with the book, and starting to make those kind of plans so that I can proceed. So I haven't done anything major in terms of concrete plans, but you know, I am starting to kind of get a picture in my head now as to the direction that I want to go in. So tomorrow is the deadline for the Orchestral Tools competition, and then I believe it's around about a week later that they announce the results. There's been lots of entries, again, as would be expected. So obviously I'll keep you posted on how that's going. I mean, I feel like I've done a good job, and I feel like I've followed the criteria closely. You know, they've asked for you know, imaginative use of the provided samples. They've also referenced sound design. They've mentioned sound design. Now I take sound design as being using sounds for effect. So not just playing sounds in, you know, like orchestral sounds, but using the whole sort of sound world. I've actually done that quite a lot in my piece with the manipulation of the voices and lots of panning. So I feel I've ticked that box as well. And also, you know, creativity, imagination, originality. Again, I feel like mine sounds very different to everyone else's. So yeah, I mean, what more can I do? You know, I feel like I've tried to really sort of think out the box a little bit, but at the end of the day, who knows? Competitions are a mysterious world, and we'll just see what happens. But again, I'll keep you posted on that as well. So thanks a lot for stopping by. I hope you have a good week ahead, and I'll check in with you next time. All the best. Bye.